Now, when we look at the Old Testament, we find that God is spoken of as being the father of Israel as a whole, and also the father of individual Jews, individual people. And we see this, for example, in Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 31. And here God says, "And in the wilderness, where you saw how the Lord your God carried you as a man carries his son in all the way that you went until you came to this place." And so while the term father is only used 4 times of God in the Old Testament, the concept of fatherhood and sonship is there very, very often. And we see it here in Israel. God took Israel and carried Israel and rescued Israel as a man would rescue his son. And there are other scriptures there which show something similar. Now, the Old Testament clearly presents God as the father of Israel as a nation. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 6. "Do you thus deal with the Lord, O foolish and unwise people? Is he not your father who bought you? Has he not made you and established you?" And we have here the understanding that as God is the creator, he is the father, because the father gives life and brings into being. He takes initiative. He is the one who generates the world, and he's also the one who brings Israel into being. So God is the God who calls and chooses Israel, and as we shall see, uses the picture of adopting Israel as his son. And so we also see him as the father of individual Israelites. Isaiah chapter 63, verse 16. "Doubtless you are our father, though Abraham was ignorant of us, and Israel does not acknowledge us. Yet you, O Lord, are our father, our Redeemer. From everlasting is your name." And here we have the concept of God's fatherhood being linked to his fatherly love in redemption. He is the father of these people because he has redeemed them. So he is the father because he created, the father of the world because he created the world, father of Israel because he called forth Israel and created Israel as a nation, father of individual Israelites because he has also redeemed them. So God's fatherhood is a concept or an understanding of God that bridges the entire revelation of God. God as creator, God as redeemer, and a little later on we shall see also it demonstrates him as God as our judge.